What's going on, guys? Today I will be showing you how I will be painting these cabinet doors and achieve a factory finish using only flock foam roller and a brush. Normally I like to do cabinets at the customer's location. However, the customer's house was not available for me, as they are currently doing renovations. Usually I spray cabinets with my sprayer, but the customer was not critical if it was sprayed or not, and was on a budget. When a customer say they are on a budget, doesn't give any painter a pass on doing terrible job. To me, it just means that it's up to me if I want to take the job at the agreed upon price. That being said, if I do take it, I will still deliver as high quality paint job as possible within the budget. I have seen one too many painters doing subpar job, and it gives the rest of us a bad rep. If you're watching this and you're a seasoned painter, then this video isn't for you. This is for the beginner and DIYers. That being said, let's begin. First, you want to clean your doors, scrape of any stickers and any build-up gunk around the corners. Remove any adhesive. Next, if you're not planning on using special products such as self-etching primer, sandblaster, or lasers, you should sand the surface. Doing so, give the primer a better adhesion. I'm using an orbital sander in this video, but you can use a corner palm sander as long as you're using either a 180 to 220 grit sandpaper. After using the orbital sander, it's important to sand the corners and areas where the sander wasn't able to get to. I usually use a sanding block with a sanding disc. I recommend using these mesh-type sandpapers made by Diablo. They last a long time. After sanding, brush off or vacuum any debris. Now onto the primer. If your doors were previously painted with oil-based paint or stains, use oil-based primer. Oil primer can go under either water or oil-based paint. Start priming the corner edges. Make sure you have an even finish and avoid drips and puddles. When painting cabinets, it's a must that you don't go heavy on your prime and paint. Use 2 light coats. Don't worry if your coat of primer looks ugly. It doesn't have to have a uniform finish. As long as you don't puddle or drip and use light coats, then that's all you need. When brushing the outer corners, use an inside to outside stroke to avoid drips on the 4 corners. Your primer's dry time will depend on the humidity and temperature. But for room temperature and low humidity, your primer should be dry and hard enough for sanding after 3 to 4 hours. When sanding the primer, don't go crazy to where you remove all the primer. You just want to sand all the rough particles off your surface. Use your hands to feel for any roughness. Next, do a final dusting or vacuuming before you put your top coat. The paint I'm using for this project is a customer-supplied paint. The paint is called Benjamin Moore Advance. It's a waterborne alkyd paint, and it dries a lot faster than urethane alkyd. There are oil-based paint out there that requires a minimum of 3 days to be dried to the touch. If you don't have the time, just stay away from those. Just use hybrid, waterborne alkyd. I normally use Sherwin-Williams, and they also have their version of a waterborne alkyd paint. I know most painters have their preferred brand of paint and they swear by them, but Sherwin-Williams is my go-to and has never failed me. As you can see, I start applying the paint on the inside corners. Then, I'll be using a flock foam mini roller to do majority or the door. The advantage of this roller is it gives you a spray-like factory finish. Make sure you don't go heavy on your coats, but do make sure you have uniform coats on both. Then, for the outside, I would use a disposable angle foam brush. Don't use a regular brush for this part, otherwise the bristles will end up underneath the door. After that, let it dry for at least an hour, then repeat the process. After the final coat, let it dry overnight to give it a chance to harden. Well, that's all I got for you today. If you found this video useful, please give this video a like. By doing so, YouTube pushes my video out to more viewers to watch.